Hey, it's me, the Diabetic Reseller. It's Vanessa. Um, I know it's been a very long time. So this is probably going to be a very long video. However, I have been writing everything down so I can catch you up on my life and what has been going on in a very, um, you know, chronological way. So there were some questions that needed to be answered from the last video. I never did the $600 worth of listings. I just let it go. The car is being handled by the insurance. It's still in the shop with all the holidays and whatnot. It took a while for everything to get together, but it's being worked on now. So let's start on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So my oldest son, Matthew, took off of work, and the twins, Kevin and Emily, got in the morning, very early in the morning, and we got together and we went tree shopping, like we always do. It's a tradition. It's typically the entire family, but my husband had to work. He couldn't take that day off, so it was me and the three kids. Matthew and Emily took the truck, and I followed along with Kevin in the car. And we went to, the first place. It was nice, and we found a tree, but typically we go to like 5 or 6 places, figure out the best tree, and then go back to the place and purchase the tree, hoping it's still there. But this time we went to the first place. We were like, oh yeah, this tree is, this is nice. But we decided, let's try one more place. And it was wonderful. Emily found it. And it's a place where you can go and cut down your own tree. And it has a lake, and it has like a teepee and a fort in the back. And we found the tree, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the tree. So after they were, going to get the tree together, put the netting on it, blah, blah, blah. We went walking around, and that was so much fun. The kids were all talking about how next year we were going to definitely bring Phil, my husband, along, because he would just love the place, and he'd love to cut the tree down with the kids. There was no way I was doing it. So we got that done. And then where did we go from there? Yeah. Oh, the shenanigans with the tree. So, I always go over the top. Always. I mean, I am brightest holidays, right? So I always go over the top. And it was so much easier when the kids were younger, when I was just working for them, And now I have a reselling business, and I have, goals and things that I want to do, and it's getting a lot harder. So we go in and get this tree, and I'm telling you, this tree is humongous, absolutely humongous. Downstairs we have we have 10-foot ceilings, and we have openings on either side of the house. So the living room has an opening which goes 29 feet high, and the kitchen side, which is the front of the house, also has 29 feet high. This tree passes the 10-foot mark. It's probably like 11 and a half feet tall. Now, my family are short. I'm 5'2". My husband is 5'10". My oldest is probably 5'10", 5'11". Kevin is shorter, which is like 5'9", 5'10", and Emily's just about my size. So none of us could get to the top of the tree. Besides the point that the stand that we had, it fit the trunk of the tree, but it was wobbly because it was so big. But, my husband nailed it in, and then he got the humongous A-frame ladder out. I was asleep, but apparently the three of them and my husband put the set of white lights on. That's supposed to, well, not supposed to, but that's what we do. We put white lights on first, and then the color lights on the outside of the tree. So they did, the inside white lights. So when I got up the next morning, the tree had toppled. It toppled over. It was on the couch, and the the base had toppled as well. All the water was everywhere. It was quite shocking and funny now. Not so funny back then, but it was funny now. So Kevin and Phil had to go to Home Depot and get like pieces of wood so they could nail it and screw it down to the base of the tree. Not the tree, but the base that you put the tree in. And so now it looks like, I don't even know, like a chicken. It's long legs, four of them sticking out. And what's my first question? Does the tree skirt cover it? Because I don't want to see that. But it's standing and it looks good. They worked like half a day on that. It was hilarious. And so after that, um, uh, okay, we're on the second page. Wait a minute. The tree, okay. I did that. And there we are. We're at Thanksgiving. Okay. So that was the shenanigans because Kevin and Emily didn't get in uh, until Wednesday, right? So the very next day was Thanksgiving. And but we spent all that time together and we ate and we had a good time. And Wednesday night, Emily had made cherry pie and pumpkin pie and the apple pie. She said she wanted to make the pies this year. So I was like, yeah, go for it. I just have to cook the regular stuff, and that's great. I'm good with that. And I had taken advantage on Tuesday to cook the stuff. So Wednesday, I was kind of like, just doing my thing, wrapping and cleaning and helping Em. And it was good. It was really good. We had a good time. Of course, it's a tradition. You must watch the Macy's Day Parade. hmm Must. It's a must. The kids never do. I do. And I make my sister, well, not make her, she loves the Macy's Day Parade. But I make my husband watch it. It's always on the TV. And then the twins left on Saturday. So it was a short trip, but it was a good trip. And then this is where it gets exciting. Very exciting. So they leave on Saturday, and the next Tuesday, that coming Tuesday, is when I get my surgery. It it went well. It went better than we expected. We thought it was possible that the meniscus had torn straight through and he might have had to do stitches, which is a much longer recovery time than what happened, which was there was a small tear in the meniscus, but there was a lot of, I don't know, debris in there, which he needed to clean out. So the best scenario would have just been that there was just that little tear and he could shave off just a little bit to make it nice and clean. But the worst would have been that the meniscus had been torn completely and he would have had to stitch it. So it was somewhere in between there. So it was better than we hoped, but not as good as we really were hoping it would be. And then so that was that. So that was Tuesday. I stopped taking the narcotics that very day because it was terrible. For me, it was horrible. I just did ibuprofen and rested in bed. That was Tuesday. Then Wednesday is the same, and Thursday I went to PT. It hurt. It hurt. So I did what I needed to do, and I did my exercises, and I was progressing. I was progressing really well, but I started to get seriously stressed out because it was getting closer to Christmas, and I still hadn't gone shopping. I wasn't done with my shopping, Christmas shopping. I did, the stuff being delivered to the house, but there's always things you need to go out and get. And I was still wobbling and I wasn't stable enough. And I feared to go out in public that somehow my knee wouldn't hold up and, I could damage it even more. So I took it cautiously. The house still wasn't clean. And I was feeling useless, right? Which is not really who I am. Certainly there are days where I feel down. Um, I know all of us do, but useless, it, it's not in me to be that way. And my knee was telling me, okay, yeah, you got up for, whatever, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You went and got a drink of water. And now you're going to sit down and you're going to lift it up. You're going to put me up. You're going to give it some ice. And you're going to sit here for, another 30 minutes and watch YouTube or whatever, being useless. And the stress was really piling on. As I was sitting there, of course, there was nothing to do but think about that, right? Um, so, uh, one of the days in the week of December 16th, I did go out with my sister. I went to one store and went shopping with her. But that was it, just one store. I did the things I went to the sections I thought I could find the things I was looking for and came home. I was done. Um, so now it's the week of the 16th. So 2 weeks into the surgery, and now it's when it feels like every day I'm getting stronger and better. I could last longer on it. So by the 21st, I felt well enough. And I also felt the stress of the twins coming in on the 22nd to clean the house. So I took all day on the 21st to clean the house. And they got in on the 22nd and disappeared for the next 2 days. They went with their brother and went Christmas shopping, and a very close friend of the family. He's been around for a very long time. Mostly friends with Kevin, and friends with Matthew. But he is Kevin's age. So, and they met, I think, in high school. They met in high school. So it's been a while, 6 years or so, I guess. He hung around a lot. He was here all the time. All the time. So they disappeared for the 2 days. I took that opportunity to cook for Christmas. I could have made the pies, but Emily said she wanted to make the pies again, so I didn't. Um, I cleaned. Oh, I wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped some more. Don't ask me where all these gifts came from because I'm telling you, I went shopping twice. I don't remember what day the second one was. The 21st was the cleaning day. One day in that week of the 16th, I went shopping. I swear I only went to one place, but it felt like I was wrapping the entire day. I don't know. Um, so Christmas is here. Everything is great. Um, the kids didn't even get a chance to put the ornaments on the tree. That's how busy they were. And they always put the ornaments on the tree. Mom is not allowed because mom doesn't know what ornaments need to be in the front of the tree. And then there are ornaments that need to be on the side so you could still see them, but they don't mean as much as the ones that are in the front. And then there are the ornaments that go all the way in the back because they don't care about those. So I don't know what that is, but they do. Today is what? January 7th, 2:30 in the morning. And there's no ornaments on the tree except for the 4 bears that I bought from my friend Jill, which replaced bears, the same exact bears that I had that I lost in the fire. And a couple of ornaments that I got on a couple of trips. Do you do that? I wonder if you do that. So when I lost all the ornaments from the fire, I decided that the tree was going to be ornaments from trips that we had made over the years. So every time I go somewhere, I buy an ornament from that place. So those are my ornaments. I did replace a lot of theirs. They told me which ones they love. And I replaced a lot of theirs. But there were some we couldn't find. And I still look today for this special Scooby-Doo one that they had, and I can't find it anywhere. But I keep looking. Anyway, let's move on. So the 25th is Christmas. It's great. Everything's going well. We have dinner. Oh my gosh. So I just told you that they had disappeared for 2 days shopping and buying Christmas gifts. They get home on the 23rd after I went to bed, which was midnight, something like that. It was late. It was like midnight or something. They stood up. Well, I know Emily stood up all night wrapping. The boys helped her, but they were like napping and up and napping and up. We did not open gifts until 5 o'clock at night. Yep, 5, 3. No, I'm sorry. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, not 5. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That was the first time ever. And I was astonished by them all going, I can't believe it's late. It's so late. It was hilarious, but it was so laid back and it was so much fun. Um, we had a great time. We really, really did. We had such a good time. Anyway, so now it's the 26th, and we're going to go and have dinner at my sister's place. And she lives on the second floor. And up until like 2 days before, I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it because I haven't gone upstairs yet, right? So I go to PT, I ask them, and they're like, well, yeah, I don't know. You should really be kind of careful. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. So I go, and the first flight of stairs I do, like a handicapped person, one step at a time, step at a time, step at a time. But I'm feeling pretty good. Yesterday was great. Today I'm really good. And so I take the second set of stairs, and I go up them like a normal person. Yeah, I should have listened because that was the biggest mistake ever. I was in so much pain. It wasn't even funny. I was in so much pain. And Friday, when I went to PT, I told them what I did. And they're like, we need to back this up because if you're in that much pain, that's not a good thing at all. That is not good. So we took it easy on that Friday. And then after PT, Emily and I went and got new tattoos. So I don't know if it's going to be upside down, right? It is. It says in her handwriting, I love Emily. And I wrote, I love mom. And she got hers on her, right above her elbow inside. It was awesome. Her and I doing that. She left Saturday. She left on Saturday. Um, that was honestly strike one for me. We're so close. And I felt like there was just not enough time. I didn't spend enough time with her. She got in and she disappeared. We had some time together on Christmas, and then Sunday we had, the dinner together, and then she was Friday we got the tattoo, and then she was gone. And I was like, God, you gotta be kidding me. That's not enough. So for me, it was, and I was not feeling good, and I was really not feeling well. I don't know why, but I really wasn't. So I didn't go to the airport with them to drop her off. That was a big strike one for me. It really was. Um, uh, so, although I was feeling better with my knee, no crutches, I felt stronger, but I couldn't get any further in bending my knee, right? So, they have the degrees, and for the last 3 weeks I had been at 125, hadn't gotten any further, And, I was doing my exercises, I was going to PT, I was doing everything I was supposed to do, and I just couldn't get past the 125. And I was really thinking, oh, I'm doing so much better. I'm doing so much better. I'm going to be, further along. And when he measured me, I wasn't. So that was a strike two for me, because I was really psyched. I was like, I know I'm doing, excuse me, I'm doing really well. Um, and come to find out that, I'm not getting the full range of motion. And without that, my field trip to the Grand Canyon is kind of like disappearing in my eyes, because I have to be realistic about that. I'm not physically fit for something like that. To go down into it, yeah, for sure, no problem. It's climbing back out, right? That's always the problem. So I need to start training. And if my knee's not bending the way it's supposed to, and if it's not getting any better, and it's not progressing, what does that mean? Is it always going to be that way? You would think at least 126, 127, 128. I have to go to 125 to 130 or 125 to 135, but something, nothing for 3 weeks. That was strike two. I hadn't worked in weeks and weeks. That was strike three for me. hmm I did spend quite a bit of time with Kevin while he was here, but he left on New Year's Day, which was definitely a strike four. And that was compounded by the thoughts that I started to have, which, it's typical for the time of year, right? You start thinking, well, I made this goal and I made that goal. And I started thinking about the goals I had made for myself for last year, and I didn't hit not one. Not one goal did I hit. And I started thinking of myself, as a failure, as always. I always do this. I never hit a goal, right? It's like a goal I set, which is a long-term goal, I should say, a long-term goal. Very good at saying, okay, today I'm going to list $375 worth of items. I'll do it. It's 2:30 in the morning, and this is when I'm doing the video because I just finished listing what I needed to list, right? So I'm really good at that. But when it comes to long-term goals, and while I was writing this, I was starting to think, like, when have I ever truly hit a long time goal. And I can honestly tell you, I think the only long time goals I've hit is Matthew, Kevin, and Emily. They came out perfect. It, nothing is wrong with them. So the sugars were right. I did what I needed to do for them. And and those are the only long-term goals that I can honestly say that I hit. Everything else, I cannot say that I have done that. And I started to spiral. That started to really, really depress me into such a deep depression. I don't think I've ever been that depressed, that black, that deep. And sorry, I really needed a drink. I can tell you that when I had said that to somebody, that what a failure I am. I got publicly yelled at for that one. It was hilarious. Hilarious. Anyway, so, okay, Kevin is gone. I'm going to PT on January 3rd. Whatever. Who cares? Nothing's going to be different. So what happens? I go January 3rd. I step into a line. Vanessa Porta. Here to do PT. That'll be $849. Say what? Oh, you look surprised. Did anyone contact you about your benefits? Well, no, but I have benefits. Yeah, but they restart over. Yeah, but this is a continuation from last year? Oh, no, they just start over. So each, $849. Oh, so you mean $849 for the rest of the sessions I have set? No, $849 each session until you meet your out of pocket. Say what? Okay, so you can cancel the rest of the sessions. You can cancel today, and I'm leaving because I can't afford that. Can you afford that? I can't afford that. So, yeah, I haven't been to PT in 2025. Don't tell anybody, but I haven't done my exercises either. Yes. What strike are we up to now? Yes, strike 5. And I go even further into a depression. My kids are gone. There's no more PT. I'm not progressing. I haven't worked. The house is a bombshell. I want to go to bed and I want to get under the covers and absolutely do nothing. Just nothing. However, I do start working on my accounting. Had a ton to catch up on, and I did start doing that on January 2nd. January 2nd, I started on it. Come to find out, one of my goals for last year, and I'm talking 2024, not talking 2023, I'm talking 2024, was to double what I made in 2023. And in all honesty, I didn't do well. I don't think anyone really did well in the beginning of 2024. It was a hard year. But it seemed that when I took the bull by the horns and finally figured out what worked for me, which was setting that goal, you're going to list $375 a day, right? I was good at that. I was really good at that. And the sales started coming in very soon after I started that and was consistent with that. Come to find out that I had made more money in those 4 or 5 months that I did that than I did in the years that I've been doing reselling. And I was pretty darn happy about that. Did I make the double? Did I hit that goal? No, I didn't. But I can tell you that I came much closer than I ever thought I could, or that I thought that I was, is a better statement. And I thought to myself, hey, there's a positive. I think that's positive number 1, right? I did find in my Excel spreadsheet, it's actually Google Sheets, that my numbers from my listings, from List Perfectly to the Google Sheets, was off by 600. And I am working on that. I am. But right now I am focused on other things and I am going through it slowly. Today I have not touched it. We're done with page 2. You're now down to the last page. Now it is the 3rd. Yes, that's right. It is now January 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm still working on accounting. I had planned on taking photos on Saturday and Sunday so that I could be listing all day today, knowing that I had the doctor's appointment and be able to take photos at night. Not at night, but in the afternoon, like after lunch, take the photos so that I'm ready to list in the morning because I'm fresh in the morning. I'm fast in the morning. Didn't work out because I was working on this stupid accounting. But that's okay. That's okay. I Okay, so on the 5th, I go to my first meeting in weeks and weeks and weeks. I had ghosted everyone and everything. I wanted no contact with anyone. I was in such a depression. It was so ugly that I didn't want anyone to see me like that. You know, I didn't want anyone to be like, "Oh my God, who is she?" I never knew she was like that. You know what I mean? Don't you? I don't know. I don't know. I just, that's what I do. I clam up. I go hide. I don't think anybody wants to deal with me when I'm like that. Anyway, I go to the meeting, positive number 2. I had a good time. I learned a lot. I set up for today. And I started the 12-week year today. And last night I was like, okay, well, yeah, I know you're going to bed late, but hey, it is, you need to get up, you need to get to Motivation in Minutes, and it is time to kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy. I woke up late. I didn't make it to Motivation in Minutes. But you know what? I completely pushed that away. I didn't say, oh, well, you screwed up the whole entire day because you woke up late. I was like, well, you're going to have to pay for it because you're not going to bed until everything is done, right? So I did kick the tires and light the fires today. I did hit my goal, and I am moving on. And I is did I say that was positive number 2? That's positive number 2. I saw the surgeon today. I went to the doctor. I talked to him about all of my concerns, about it still being wobbly, about it's not wobbly all the time, but it's wobbly sometimes. It is popping, and the 125, that I can't get past that. So overall, he's very happy with my progress. He suggested two people from the list that I got, and so I'm gonna pursue that for the physical therapy. I'm gonna pursue that. Positive number 3, and okay, so I started this video at, I don't know, 2:20 in the morning. But I listed everything I needed to list. And I logged all my food and what I drank today. And don't look at my desk because it'll take me 5 minutes to set to 0. I will reset to 0 before I go downstairs to go to bed. And I did my video. You're all caught up. Whirlwind, wasn't it? Farewell. I will see you on Wednesday. I know you can't trust me anymore. I know. And I'm sorry about that. But I will do the best that I can. And hopefully I will be here on Wednesday. Bye for now.